The peak body representing Africans across Australia has released a report calling for a review of existing laws to promote equality and combat racism. The report follows a United Nations visit to Australia, which found people of African descent are living under siege of racism.
They're a growing migrant group in Australia who have been disproportionately represented in Australia's human rights violations.
What we're doing here today is saying there are challenges, but they're things that we can address, they're things we have to address, and we can all work together to create a fairer and better society.
Today, advocates of human rights for Africans in Australia came together in Sydney, delivering a new report that calls on the government, academia and grassroots organisations to come together and improve the experience of African people in the areas of discrimination, integration, detention and policing.
We want the policymakers to understand that those issues have been existing for a long time, so it's overdue, and it's time for the government, to step in and act on it.
The report comes off the back of a United Nations visit and subsequent analysis, which found a litany of failures in Australian society to properly support Africans who are being marginalised. The UN report found African Australians can face racial discrimination in employment, education and health.
But what today was about was introducing a framework report that gives us the next steps. It tells us what we need to do, what all of us need to do to address the very real human rights challenges that Australians of African descent face.
While the only government representative at the meeting was from the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, it's hoped the framework will begin a shift away from discussing issues in Australia's African community to implementing solutions.
Yeah, we've been talking about issues. The report talks about issues. Also, the recommendation talks about issues. But we also started talking about solutions to those issues.
This is a change even if you're coming from, even if it's like a developed country or a country where you speak English, there's always changes.
Diana Damjanovic, SBS World News.